This is the first lecture. This is the first part of the federalism, second lecture of the civics 10th standard. So federalism. Today in first part we'll see the introductory part of whole lesson in federalism. So here federalism, first lesson that was just we have studied power sharing, and this is the federalism. Both the chapter they are connected to each other. So federalism, what is federalism? Federalism is a system. Federalism is what? Is a system of government. Government की एक system है in which the power is divided between central authority and various constituent assembly. Power is divided between whom? Central authority means central government and various constituent units of the country. Various constituent units of the country means that is regional government, or that is called also state government. The power is shared among the central government and various state, regional or local government. Means main, that is power share between central government and others, regional, local or various states government. Both the central and non-central government are answerable to the citizen of the country who elect them. Means those who are elected, or they are representative. So people is having the authority to ask question to the central and non-central government, and they are answerable to the citizens. After all, citizens elected both this government or all the government, central and state or subunits of the state government. They are for the working on the behalf of them. So citizen is having the power to ask questions to the all type of government, all forms of government, and they are answerable to the citizen. They are binding it. Okay. It is found in the federalism. Usually, federalism has two levels of government. Generally or usually, there are two levels of government, and both of them enjoy power independent of each other. Means there is no superior or subordinate or secondary government in federalism. This is important. So federalism generally, usually they have it has two levels, the government, and both of them enjoy equal power independent of each other. No one here is subordinate or secondary. Government for entire country, which government is called the central government. A government for entire country, reasonable for the subjects of the common interests. And another government at the level of provinces or state, that look after day to day functioning of the state. Means these are two main governments, central and state, in the federation. So come to the federal system. federal system is a different from unitary system. Means there are two systems. First is federal and another one is unitary. So in federalism we are going to discuss here what is federal system or how federal system is different from the unitary system. Under the unitary system, we'll see in deep, just this is the introductory part. So in the unitary system, either there is only one level of government or subunits are subordinate to the central government. Okay? The central government can pass an order to the provincial or general, provincial or local government. But in federal system, central government cannot order the state government to do something. State government has power of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. Means here in the federal system, state government is equally or state government has equal power just like a central government. State government is not answerable to the central government regarding his power in, but it is happen only in the federal system. So state government has power of its own. State government is having its own power for which it is not answerable to the central government. Means in federal system, state government is equally powerful just like a central government. Okay? Both these governments, central as well as regional or state government or local government, they are equal in their power. No one is subordinate or superior. So federal system has dual objective. Federal system में objectives, aims and objectives, they are dual in federal system. First, to safeguard and promote the unity of country. फेडरल सिस्टम में जो फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो कौन सा है? विच इज़ दैट फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव? टू safeguard and promote the unity of country. Important thing is that unity of country is important in federalism. So it safeguard and promote the unity of this country. And second objective in federal system, to accommodate regional diversity. If we talk about in India, different diversities, language, cultural, ethnicity, religious diversity found. So here all this diversity in various sphere it is found and it is accommodated, it can be adjusted. That is regional diversity accommodate or to means main objective in federal system is what? To accommodate means adjust, accommodate regional diversity. Though the diversity is there in regional level, but still it is adjustable or accommodated in this federal form of government. Okay. Another one, an ideal federal system has both aspects. आइडियल जो फेडरल सिस्टम हम कह सकते हैं तो इट हैज़ बोथ ऑब्जेक्टिव, म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट and agreement to live together. So two aspects are there for the federal system. That should be mutual trust between the central and state government and agreement to live together. If any disputes resolved, it can be solved with the peaceful manner. Means this and if it is found like this trust and agreement to live together, then that federal system would be which federal system? Ideal federal system. Okay, so there are two kinds of routes through which federalism have been formed. The first route involved independent state. First route involved independent states coming together. Independent state coming together on their own to form the bigger unit. Means independent unit, they comes together, and what is the purpose behind it? To form the bigger unit. Coming together federation are found in USA, Switzerland and Australia. In these countries federalism is there. And which type of federalism is there? Coming together means individual small countries, they comes together for showing the bigger unit, or to form the security point of view, they comes together or showing the bigger unit. Small countries comes together. An example of this coming together federalism, that is USA, Switzerland and Australia. Okay, and second route is where large countries decide to divide its power between the constituent states and national government. The holding together federation, another form, it is holding together federation, are found in India, Spain and Belgium. So states in these countries, they are not independent countries, but all these states, they live in one country. Example of this holding together is India. Means in India there is central government, and in other state they are state government, or that is called regional government. And in some state there is a third type of government, or it is extended power of the state government, that is also called the local government. In Belgium, that was called the community government. Already we have seen in first chapter. Then India is a federal country. Why India is called here federal country, that we are going to discuss in short, then we'll discuss in deep. So in India is a federal country. Why? Because India emerged as an independent nation after the bloody partition. All of you know we got freedom in 1947, but what was a tragedy or traumatic experience for us, that India means partition taken place of the country, or India and Pakistan, and that was very traumatic experience for us. That was called here the bloody partition. Princely state became the part of country. Princely state also became the part of our country. Princely state, we have seen what is the princely state. So the constitution declare India as a union of state. हमारे constitution ने declare किया है. What it is declare as a union of state. The constitution originally provided two-tier system. In constitution originally they provided two-tier system of government, that is union or central government. First it is union or central government representing Union of India, and another one, that is state government. And third tier of the federalism was added later in the form of panchayat and municipalities. Originally or basically they were two tiers of the system of government. union and state government. Okay, so the Constitution of India provides a threefold distribution of the legislative powers between the union government and state government. Contains three lists. Threefold distribution means this contains three lists. Which are these? Union list, state list and concurrent list. So in union list included the subject of national importance. The central government alone can make the laws, makes the decision on this matter. And central government is authority to make the laws on the subject which included in this union list. Second one is state list, and it includes matter of state level importance. The state government alone can make the decision on these areas where subjects are mentioned in the state list. And third type of list is called the concurrent list. And in concurrent list include those subjects which are common interest of both the central and the state. Includes those subjects which are common interests of both the central and state government. Means whatever subjects are mentioned in this concurrent list, both this government is having authority to make the laws on this subject for the common interest. So both the government can make the decision on this matter. Case there is conflicts, the decision of union government will prevail. Means if the disputes arise between these two governments, priority would be given to which? Union government for making the rules in this concurrent list, that is union government. Okay, so subjects which do not fall in any of these three lists come under residuary subjects. Means ये तीनों भी लिस्ट में जो सब्जेक्ट नहीं आते हैं या जो बचे हुए सब्जेक्ट्स है, एंड दे आर कॉल्ड हियर रेसिड्यूअरी सब्जेक्ट. न्यू सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक कंप्यूटर सॉफ्टवेयर that came up after the constitution was made. According to the constitution, union government has power to legislate on these residuary subjects. Means whatever subject that comes in the residuary subjects, union government or central government is having authority for making the laws on this residuary subjects. Okay, then all states in the Indian Union do not have identical power. सभी जो स्टेट्स है इंडिया में वो सभी को इक्वल पावर्स नहीं दिए गए हैं. दे आर नॉट हैविंग इक्वल पावर्स ऑफ ऑल द स्टेट्स एंड यूनियन टेरिटोरीज. सम स्टेट्स enjoy the special status. For example, Jammu and Kashmir had its own constitution. Now it is not there. Jammu and Kashmir, that was ruled by the central by their own constitution. But now changes made, amendment done. So many provisions of Indian Constitution are not applicable to this state without approval of the state assembly. There are some states which enjoy very little power. और ऐसे भी कुछ स्टेट है इंडियन फेडरलिज्म में फेडरल सिस्टम में जो they enjoy very little power. Areas like Chandigarh, Lakshadweep or the capital city of Delhi, they are called the union territories, and these territories do not have the powers of state. ये जो territories है, union territories, उनको state जैसे power नहीं दिए हैं. The central government has special power in running these states. Union territories पर रूल करने का अधिकार किसको दिया है? सेंट्रल और यूनियन गवर्नमेंट. So, the constitutional provision and democratic politics are real pillars of the federalism. Federalism के जो real pillars है वो किसको, to whom it is called? First, constitutional provision, and another one, democratic politics. They are real pillar of the federalism which help to make its success. Means these pillars helps to make the success of federalism. Some of the major ways in which this happens are, so some of the major ways in which this happens are, first, it is linguistic state. State which is on the base of language. Dividation of the state on the base of language. So in 1947, the boundaries of the several old states of India were changed in order to create the new states. This was done to ensure that people who spoke same language live in same state. For example, we are living in Maharashtra and our language, it is Marathi in the Maharashtra. So the Maharashtra state, it is established in 1960 on the base of language. So some states were created to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity and the geography. On this base, some states created. That states are called what? Linguistic states. Then second, central and state relation in India. Central and state relation in India. Earlier in India, for a long time, same party ruled both at central and state. For example, in Maharashtra, means in central, for a long time it was which party? Congress. And after that, from 2014, continuously this BJP party is there. But most of the time after getting the independence, this Congress party got opportunity to rule over the country in both in central as well as state. So this means that state government did not exercise their right as an autonomous federal unit. If both this government, in both government, central as well as state government, if the rule is only rule is there only the same party, then state government would not be here the autonomous federal unit. Now there is different government in central BJP, and in state there is Shiv Sena. Here independent decision can be taken in this state government, because rule of the party or party in this state, it is different. That is Shiv Sena from the BJP. In central BJP, if the party it is same, central and state, so it would not means autonomy would not be there. They have to be accept the guideline of central because of the same party. We'll discuss it again in detail. But after the 1990, there was rise of the regional political parties. 90 के बाद different regional parties came in existence in many states of the country. This was also the era of coalition government at the central. और यही era था, यही duration था of what? Coalition government. What is coalition government? All of you know, but still I'm telling it. Coalition government means if a single party if do not get the majority for forming the government, then that party which got more votes comparing to the other party, so this party gets support to the other party just for showing the majority and forming the government. Means government, it is not belonging to the single party, but different parties comes in or comes for giving support to the government, and such a government, that is called the coalition government. Now BJP got the sufficient majority, but and that is not called the coalition government, but UPA government, that was a coalition government. Means government was not of the single party. So I hope you will be understood that what is coalition government, and this type of government came in 1990, in this era. Since no single party got the clear majority in Lok Sabha, and major national parties had to enter into the alliances with many parties, including several regional parties, to form government at the central. Okay, so this led to a new culture of the power sharing and respect of the autonomy of the state government. और इसी से ही शुरुआत हुई नए कल्चर की. न्यू कल्चर स्टार्टेड which of the power sharing and respect for what? Respect for the autonomy of the state government. Means state government को भी अपने कुछ अधिकार है, that is implementing their own powers, that is called here the autonomy. And another points which we are going to discuss here, language policy. So our constitution has not given the status of national language to any one language. हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऐसा कुछ स्टेटस नहीं दिया नेशनल लैंग्वेज का किसी एक लैंग्वेज को. When power is taken away from the central and state government and given to the local government is called the decentralization. For example, municipality, panchayat samiti, local self government, that is gram panchayat, all these are the example of decentralization. Means they can take their decision on their own level, no one interfere, or central government and state government not interfere in their decision, or taking the power taking the decision in their local level. So the need for decentralization was recognized in our country because our country is so vast. Since then, there have been several attempts to decentralize power to the level of village and towns. Panchayats in village and municipalities in town. Panchayat in village and municipalities in town. They were set up in all the states, which comes under the which government or which concept, that is local self-government, and concept is decentralization. And the constitution was amended in 1992. Amended means changed or bringing some changes in 1992. For what? To make third tier of the government more powerful and effective. Before to 1992, this government means here made the provision in constitution by amending 1992. For what? This third tier, local self-government, it is called the third tiers of the government, should be more powerful and effective. Okay? More powerful and effective. In this way, rural local self-government known as Panchayat Raj came into existence. So, rural local government known as what? Panchayat Raj. And they are very powerful in their own local level, means whatever decision if they wanted to take in their local level, they can take. No one interfere in their internal matter. What would be expenditure, what would be earning sources, taxation, whatever decisions would be there on local level, it would be rest with them. So, here local government bodies also exist for the urban areas. These local bodies, they are not only in the rural area but also in existence in the urban areas. In town there are municipality. टाउन में लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट को क्या कौन सी इंस्टीट्यूशन है? दैट इज म्यूनसिपालिटी. इन द अर्बन टाउन and in big cities or just like a metropolitan cities, there are municipal corporation. Both these comes municipality and municipal corporation. They are in the urban areas, but basically they are called what? Local self government. And in the rural areas, which institutions are there? Panchayat Raj, Gram Panchayat. These are the rural bodies. There are elected bodies, means in this local self government in rural as well as in urban areas, members, they are elected or they are representative. So all these things we have seen as an introductory part of this lesson, and some key words which are very important, which we are going to discuss in this lesson. Some of the key words. So first word, it is jurisdiction. So what would be the meaning of jurisdiction? The area over which someone has legal authority, means for particular area taking the decision for the particular matter on particular area, it is legal authority of particular body or particular citizens, that comes under the jurisdiction. Then union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list include the subjects of national importance, and central government alone can make the decision on this matter, such as defense of the nation, then foreign affairs, banking, currency, and this communication. All these subjects comes under the union list. Means only central government or union government is having the authority to make the subjects on this in this list. Okay. Second, state list. It includes matter on the state level. The state government alone can make the decision on these areas. They include matters such as police, trade, agriculture and commerce and irrigation. Means over on this subject, state government is having the authority to make the rules, laws which mentioned in the state list. And third, concurrent list. It include those subjects which are common interest for both the central and state government. It includes the matters such as education, forest, marriage and trade union. Okay. And another one keyword is that residuary subjects which do not fall in any of these three lists. New subjects are computer software that came up after the constitution was made. According to the constitution, the union government has power to legislate on these residuary subjects. Then come to the unitary system. What is unitary system? So under the unitary system, either there is only one level of government or subunit. See what is the difference between this federal system and unitary system. Already we have seen in federal system there is 2 levels or 3 levels. But in unitary system, under this unitary system, either there is only one level of government or subunit are subordinate to the central government. Central government can pass on order to the provincial or local government. Okay. So this is about the unitary. This is about the unitary government. Okay. Now federalism. In short, federalism, it is what? A system of government in which power is divided between central authority and various constituent unit of the country. And last one, union territories. It is also one of the important keywords. So there are some states like Chandigarh, Lakshadweep and capital city of the Delhi, which enjoy very little power. They are very limited power they enjoy and too small to become the independent state. वो independent state भी नहीं है, but could not be merged with any of the existing state. लेकिन कोई भी existing state में वो include या merge नहीं होता है. These territories do not have the power of state. Means these union territories, they do not have the power just like states. So this is about the union territories. So this is the introductory part of the whole lesson which we have seen, and we will stop here, student. and tomorrow we discuss on the next